Recently, Donald Trump was asked whether or not transgender people should be given the right to use the bathroom as the gender they identify with. And he actually had a surprisingly reasonable answer. So he said, North Carolina did something that was very strong, and they're paying a big price. There's a lot of problems. Leave it the way it is. North Carolina, what they're going through with all the business that's leaving, all of the strife, and this is on both sides, leave it the way it is. There have been very few complaints the way it is. People go, they use the bathroom that they feel is appropriate. There has been so little trouble. And the problem with what happened in North Carolina is the strife and the economic punishment that they're taking. You know, there's a big move to create new bathrooms. Problem with that is for transgender, that would be, first of all, I think that would be discriminatory in a certain way. That would be unbelievably expensive for businesses in the country. Leave it the way it is. Okay, so that was a surprisingly reasonable answer. So kudos to you, Donald Trump. I mean, we already know that he's no LGBT ally. He's against marriage equality. He already stated that he would appoint homophobic Supreme Court justices to overturn the marriage equality ruling. But I mean, hey, credit where credit is due. This is progress. This is a step in the right direction. So you get 3 claps and that's it, Donald. Sorry. If you want applause, you got to go even further and actually go where young Republicans are headed, which is towards accepting LGBT rights. Now, of course, since Donald Trump had decided to be reasonable on this issue, Ted Cruz decided to attack him for it, and he launched this ad about Donald Trump.
Kurt Schilling was fired by the PC police for suggesting that grown men shouldn't use the bathroom with little girls. Guess who's joined the ranks of the PC police?
People go, they use the bathroom that they feel is appropriate.
Donald Trump can't be trusted with common sense. Why would we trust him in the White House?
So unsurprisingly, Ted Cruz thought the reception to this video would be so great that he decided to disable likes, dislikes, and comments on it. So you already know why he decided to do that. But here's the thing. Ted Cruz is making a straw man argument about Donald Trump's position and the position of people who are reasonable on this issue. He's saying that if you want transgender people to be able to use the bathroom as the gender they identify as, you're going to effectively allow grown men to use the bathroom with little girls. So what's the underlying implication here? Well, men are going to start putting on dresses and wigs, and they're going to be perverts. They're pedophiles. They're going to go in there and peep on little girls. That's what they're saying. That's the implication. Okay, he's not saying it, but that's the implication over here. But that's totally incorrect. Ted Cruz can't point to one instance where there's a problem. Okay, there's been complaints about how one transphobic woman feels uncomfortable, but there's never actually been any instances of abuse or rape or assault from a transgender person just using the bathroom. Like everyone else, they go in the bathroom to use the bathroom. I don't think that they would go through all the trouble to change their gender just to peep on people in the bathroom. There's other ways to be a creep, and that's not one of them. There's probably easier ways for them to be a creep. Now, here's the thing that's ironic that Ted Cruz can't get through his thick skull. He doesn't realize that if he actually doesn't want men using the bathroom with little girls, that he should stop pushing these anti-trans bills, because this bill that they have in North Carolina, that's going to do just what Ted Cruz says he doesn't want to happen. It's going to force men to use the bathroom with little girls. So case in point, here's some pictures that a transgender man has taken to illustrate the absurdity of these bathroom bills. Does that look like an individual who should be using the women's bathroom? I don't think so. Now, here's a transgender woman who was forced to use a men's bathroom. So if Ted Cruz actually doesn't want men to use the bathroom with little girls, stop pushing these transphobic bills, because it's going to do just that, what you don't want to happen. There is no signs of abuse, no perversion going on. It's just people going to the bathroom as the gender they identify with. It's really simple, it's straightforward, but for some reason Ted Cruz can't get that. Now, Ted Cruz is someone who is overtly homophobic and transphobic. This is a presidential candidate who literally spoke at an event where a pastor advocated for killing gay people. He came on stage after that pastor said gays should be put to death. And furthermore, Ted Cruz is anti-gay, anti-trans, just to appease his right-wing extremist evangelical base. But here's the thing about Ted Cruz that he doesn't get. See, if you're overly anti-gay, if you're overly transphobic, then that doesn't throw people off the scent, because let's be honest, what I'm going to say is probably not politically correct. He's probably a closeted homosexual. And if that's not a definite, then it's a high probability in my opinion. And I've got two words for those who disagree. Ted Haggard.
So we don't have to debate about what we should think about homosexual activity. It's written in the Bible.
So it's those people who are the most homophobic, the most transphobic, that end up being the biggest homos and having the most skeletons in their closet. So if Ted Cruz really wants to throw people off his scent, then he should be more accepting of gay and trans people. Because the more anti-gay you are, the more we suspect Ted Cruz, and you are a prime candidate for suspicion. So overall, though, I want to get back to Donald Trump. I'm just surprised that Donald Trump took a reasonable stance on this. Now, again, I'm not unequivocally against Donald Trump. He takes a reasonable stance on many issues. For example, he chose to remain relatively neutral on the Israel-Palestine conflict. He's against these bad free trade deals, and he claims that he will not allow people to die in the country if they don't have health care. He also said he wants to tax the rich recently. So Donald Trump is not 100% bad, but he does have a lot of unforgivable stances, such as killing civilians and whatnot, and deporting all 11 million undocumented immigrants. But again, credit where credit is due. If you're right on the issue, you're right on the issue. It doesn't matter who you are. So kudos to Donald Trump for coming around on this, and Ted Cruz should be ashamed of himself. This guy is just repulsive.